Welcome back to another episode in our Well AP series, where we are talking about everything well building certification and everything air quality. Now, if you're a Well AP and you haven't watched our previous episodes, I definitely recommend going back, taking a look at those, getting up to speed. We've talked about a lot of different things around well certification and air quality within it. But today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. And that is, I have a lot of Well APs that come to me and say, Liam, I get it. I love the idea of continuous air quality monitoring using sensor data for certification, but how do I talk to my clients? How do I talk to the people that are actually running and approving the well projects and get them on board? And how do I convince them that this is the right thing to do? So if you have these questions, this is the right place. That's what we are going to be talking about today. And I think there's really sort of four basic ways to look at this. And the first is it's cost effective. There's usually no better way to approval than saying this is going to save you money. And going with continuous monitoring for air quality is going to save you money on your well certification. Without getting too much into the weeds, as we've talked about this on previous episodes, there are different ways to certify your buildings, but you will always need to measure air quality. If you're going for well building certification, you will need to measure air quality, either through sensor data or performance testing. And the reality is that sensor data is a more cost-effective solution. Performance testing can be really, really expensive. And so this is probably the simplest answer to that question. Why should I use sensor data? Why should I install continuous monitors? Because it will reduce the overall costs of your well certification. Point number two, it's actually a more effective return on your investment in terms of points within well. And what I mean by that is that you can use one solution and receive a lot of points within well. So, of course, you have preconditions such as A01 that require air quality testing, but there are a lot of other features that can get you points within well from using continuous monitoring. And this is one single solution that can actually tick a lot of boxes. So for example, if we look through the air quality and thermal comfort concepts, other than the preconditions, you can also receive 3 points for A05, there's 2 points for A06, another 2 points for A08, 1 point for T06, and another point for T07. So this is a ton of points. This is 3 preconditions and 9 optimization points using one single strategy. Now, of course, sensor data and continuous monitors are not the only way to get those points, but it is a single solution that can bring all of those points in together. Now, if you're going for a certification, especially one that requires a lot of points, such as a WELL Platinum certification, that requires 80 points. Now, once you've gone through the low-hanging fruit, you probably still need 20 or 30 extra points to get that certification. Those can be hard to find. It can be a struggle for a lot of projects to get those final points. And so if you're faced with 20 points, you might need 20 different solutions and to go do 20 or 15 or 25 different things to receive all of those points. The beauty of continuous monitoring and using sensor data is that one single solution, which is putting sensors on walls, can collect 9 of those points for you. That's almost enough to take your project from well silver to well gold. Obviously, this does depend on the monitor that you're using. I'm using, as an example here, the Kytera SenseEdge Go, which measures all the parameters that you see on the left of this slide. If the monitor that you're using measures fewer things, there will be fewer points. But I believe that this sort of fundamental point almost always stands, which is that this is one solution that can meet multiple preconditions and a lot of points. So it's just a high return on your points. Now this is a really important one. We have talked a lot in this course about the benefits of continuous monitoring specifically for well certification. But the real reason, our ultimate goal should not be putting a plaque on a wall, right? That is a means to an end, which is the ultimate goal is healthier occupants, happier occupants, more productive occupants within the building, right? That's the reason why projects go after WELL certifications. And that is the fundamental benefit that you are actually going to be getting from continuous monitoring. By being able to understand your air quality at any point in time, over time, across multiple different locations throughout the building, across multiple different parameters, potentially across your entire portfolio around the world, that is going to give you a ton of insight into how your buildings are actually performing and whether or not they are able to deliver on that promise of a healthier environment for your occupants, right? And enabling them and making them happier and more productive. And so outside of the sort of very narrow WELL certification, there are so many benefits from having this data. I won't get into the weeds right now, but understanding and being able to troubleshoot your building is the first step to making sure that it's doing what you want it to do, which is create a healthy environment. There's also, of course, the side benefit that we often see that companies actually end up finding things like energy savings. They, through having this data, are able to identify mechanical equipment in the building that's not working. They're able to reduce the time to resolution of work orders and tickets for their facilities staff. They're able to reduce complaints around thermal comfort. There are so many other benefits that we don't have time to get into here, but WELL certification is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to using sensors to optimize your buildings. Finally, the last reason why your clients should invest in continuous air quality monitoring is because they are future-proofing their buildings. There are a lot of signals out there that air quality continuous monitoring is going to become the standard in our buildings of the future. We see this, of course, through the WELL building certification, but LEED v5 is very heavily adopting this. If you have been following LEED v5 and the rollout of O&M in beta, there are 10 points which are available for air quality monitoring. There are a number of bills that are being put forward in various countries around the world. There is legislation being made around continuous monitoring and hitting certain thresholds and targets for air quality. So this is simply a large trend that the industry and that the world at large is moving towards. And so by doing this, yes, you're ticking all the boxes for certification. Yes, you're maximizing the points that you can get while lowering your costs, but also you are making your building ready for the future, and you're setting it up to be able to meet the legislation and the requirements of the future. So there are many reasons why I believe that we should be measuring air quality all the time in all of our buildings. Hopefully this helped you to understand how we think about this and what some of the arguments that we see resonating most with the owners of WELL projects are. If anything if you're a WELL AP and you've seen something resonate with your clients or with your senior leadership within your company, I'd love to hear about it. So put a comment in the comment section or send me a DM. I would love to hear from you.